Oh, wow.
I just don't trust men, bro.
Hatfield is not the place where you can find your ideal wife.
If you could choose between two things, having, let's say, the career of your dreams, or having the family of your dreams, you can only have one or the other. Which one would you choose?
That's hard. That's hard.
Grace, what is your opinion on marriage?
In terms of,
Would you get married?
yes.
Do you want to get married?
Yes.
Why do you want to get married?
Good question. I think a lot of people don't really think about the reasons why they want to get married.
Yeah.
It's just like a next step
Yeah.
in life, which isn't that great. You should really think about it.
Yeah.
Good question. I'll look into why I want to get.
Do you think you have good examples in your life of good marriages?
Yes.
Okay, do you think that that's maybe like positively influenced in how you see marriage? That because you have like a good point of reference, you're like, I want this thing, I can do this thing.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Marriage is like two people making a vow to come together and like, the typical thing, be together for eternity kind of thing, like till death do us part, that kind of thing. Yeah, I feel like it's definitely something people should do. It's very good. I think like in general, if you look at the history of all societies, it has been a universal thing, especially among societies that never really had contact with each other. It's always been there. Of course, there have been differences in terms of like, it usually used to be like polygamous. Is that not polygamous, or like some that were like the men had more wives than that? But that's in like certain cases. But like in general, marriage has been like a basic foundation of the family. I think it's something that should be highlighted or like kept there. Yeah, for sure.
Do you want to get married?
Yeah, for sure.
Why do you want to get married?
I don't know, man. I think everyone should at some point in their lives find love and find that person that they can be with and like go through thick and thin with whoever. Have kids, have a family. Yeah, find that partner that like would be with you. Yeah.
Unyala.
Wow. Agri form cha unyala.
Why?
Ke contract ba ntšela dilo tše ke nang le tšona. Agri khumala motho sa tle ka lerato. Fetša ba o tšela dilo tšela.
Yeah.
Ba o tšela le ntlo ba re ke a mosadi wena o thoma fase. O nna strarateng e le ra o ne gae. Ke nna ke le one ke a ja ke a patela tšhai. Ke dilo tše dintšhi o tlhalela le TV o tla no di bona tša di-divorce. Tla no di bona ba tšela motho ntlo e kgologolo a e agile. Mmereko o fedile ba mo tšela dilo a ye kae. Jale nna o nyala. Ka se kgona.
I think I hold a traditional or conventional opinion. I am Muslim, so in my religion, marriage is advocated for, permissible, encouraged. The sooner the better. So I do believe marriage is the right way to go.
Nikiwe, tell us, what is your opinion on marriage?
I think that marriage is God's design, and it's basically a union on earth that represents what Jesus Christ did for the church, which is his bride. So yeah.
Okay, cool. I think you said something earlier about like people getting married, modern day. You're not sure if this is what people want. What makes you say that? Like, what makes you question people's desire to get married in 2025?
Okay, I think for now I can think of two. And the first one is what I see sometimes on social media, or like the debates that I kind of like heard or just see, is basically men just doing it because they feel like they want to just do it. It's not linked to anything religious or very significant, and also it's giving they just want a housekeeper. Like they just want to marry a housekeeper. And then another thing, I don't know how sure or how like true or 100% this is, but I just feel like I don't know if I heard it somewhere, but it's always that thing of like, because people just want to have sex, now they're just like, let me get married just so that I can just do it,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I think.
Where do you get your examples of marriage? Is it personal life, family, friends, community, or is it social media?
Marriage. I want to believe that it is social media, mainly because in my family, there are only 2 people that are married that I can think of. Yeah. And the rest of the kind of marriage examples that I've seen or that I admire or that kind of shaped how I look at marriage are from social media. And it's mostly like Christians. Like I watch the Perrys, that's how I get to kind of like know what it actually is about. I also listen to this lady, I love her. Her name is Mpumi, Mpumi Litava. So yeah, just like people, Christian also this lady, her name is Nkentani. Nkentani. Her surname was Ricotso, but she got married and I don't want to butcher the new surname. So also her, like she just makes like she's like a faith-based content creator, and she also does speak about marriage because she just recently she got married last year. So yeah.
Do you think seeing examples of marriage personally in your own life from social media has had more of a negative impact or more of a positive impact?
In reality, I think it has like a negative impact really because I speak to my sister, and my sister is like almost 7 years older than me, and I always bring like this wholesome kind of family, and my sister is like, girl, I'm outside, and you hear like someone during their like wedding after party saying, oh, I met the love of my life, and it's not even the bride, or things like that, or some people's husbands like trying to ask them out, so with that's why I'm like, I think I need to be a bit woke in terms of marriage. And also I live in Hatfield, there's so many relationships here that I just like they're very questionable, so it's very, I wouldn't say I'm scared. Like not scared where I'm like I'm fearful, but I'm like skeptical because I'm just like I don't think I so far the bar is below. Yes.
I hear that. Do you want to get married? If yes, then why? If no, then why?
Do I want to get married? Okay. How much time do you have?
Oh, lots.
Okay. So do I want to get married? Okay, what I can say is like just give you like a bit of a background story. It could even be like just 2 minutes. So my thing is I used to idolize relationships so much, and I think I think I'm right, but I think the reason why I'm saying this is because I grew up without a dad. My dad passed away when I was like 9. So for the majority of my life, I didn't have like a father figure. So from I don't know, when I was young, since I was in grade 12, I was just always in between something. Just always in between something. Whenever I'm stressed, it's just like, oh no, it's okay. I can just take like this partner about it, and when early last year, I was on vacation with my family, and we were in the middle of the sea, so I didn't have internet connection, but I couldn't do devotion properly. But something just said, read Habakkuk. I was like, okay, fine, I'll read Habakkuk. And it was basically the verses I was landing on were about idolatry. And so I'm like, okay, Jesus, trying to tell me something. Okay. So, long story short, I realized that, okay, I'm actually idolizing this thing. So I had to come to a point where I'm like, you know what, marriage, if God wants it for me, then that's okay. But if he doesn't want it for me, then I also want to be okay with it because, yeah, man, I was just tired of all of that. So do I want to get married? Yes, sometimes I do. But then if I do, or if I am going to get married, I preferably get married when I am in my 30s.
In your 30s?
Yes.
Do you mind if I ask why your 30s?
I don't know. It was just like a random. I was like, I think I want to get married at 33. I think because in my 30s, I feel like I am more stable emotionally, financially, just as a person, probably less insecure, and I'm not going through like the ups and downs of life. And yeah, and also right now, I'm just like, I'm so young. I feel like I'm so immature for marriage. I feel like even just to be in a relationship, because hopefully it's gonna change, but at the moment I think if I were to get into a relationship, it was just probably because I want someone to buy me flowers, of which now I do give myself flowers. So like, I just want someone to buy me flowers. I don't want to be bored or things like that. It's never anything. It has Jesus. We're building kingdom things. It's never that serious, you know. And I feel like I'm the type of person where if you were to say, girl, like I'm having problems now. Deuces, boy, like I'm not here for that. You know, like if we are going through things, sorry, especially financial, emotional, I'm dipping. Like, so that's why I'm like, it wouldn't be fair for me to like be in a relationship now thinking of just like my maturity in terms of like romantic relationships. Yeah.
Ayibafe abantu abathandanayo ne ase bavumelana ukuthi mina nawe sofa silahla
Sure.
ya sakumndeni
Okay.
yabo mina ngiphethe wena uphethe mina
Sure.
ya ilo mpahla
Njalo nje.
njalo bafayilahlana
Sure.
abafuna kumndeni phela yabo
Okay.
nakumndeni babantwana yabo nawe isibongo sakhe ezumjida usikhulisa yabo kubalekile lokho
Okay.
bafuthi yabo generation landelana
Sure.
sibongo siqhubeke singagcini ngawo
Sure.
ya kumele siqhubeke
Sure.
bafuna basuka le komkhulu bethu nawe kumele siqhubeze umsebenzi wakho lo sure
Ufuna ushada?
what's up akhola bafi ayingafisa khona ukushada yabo kodwa hayi manje bafe manithatha ukubheka manje yabo amachela akhona ezibafe
Okay.
ayingasaba uthi
Okay.
yabo ayingasaba kodwa hayi asithembe yabo ukuthi hayi nami ngizomthola wami ozovuma ukuthi hayi
Sure.
skade
Sure.
yeah
Usabani?
bafo sengizwe phela igabeke eziningi ngomshado sengizwile bafo eminye ayihambi kahle enye ihamba kahle yabo manje ngisaba khona ukuthi izovele ngingahambi kahle yabo and imali ozobe sekhiphile lapho phela mina ngumZulu semele ngikhipha amalobolo
Sure.
cha lapho umshado ungahambi kahle
Sure.
wenzakalani
Ama
lapho
100K,
Hayibo.
ama nani.
Yadlala wena konakele bafo
Sure.
yeah
Marriage is a good thing if you find the right person. You know, there are like long marriages, couples that have been married for quite a long time, and it's actually beautiful to see. You know, and then there's some people who think marriage is a business idea. You know, once you get married, you take off of what the nigga owns, and then you just bounce to another marriage. You know, sometimes. I mean, all I can say is, nah, it's a bit of a sticky one, but if it's good, if you find the right person, it's good.
Sure.
If you found the wrong person, it was a business idea, dog. So
Sure.
yeah, that's my opinion with it.
Do you want to get married?
Nah, I don't think so, dog.
Why?
I just told you the pros and cons, dog. Yeah, so nah, I'm gonna gravitate towards the cons, and yeah, I'm gonna stay away from it. I don't know. Maybe if the right person finds me,
Sure.
then yeah. But then nah, for now, nah, not at all.
Okay, cool. So where do you study? At Tux?
It's up.
Okay, so there's a girl you meet in one of your classes on campus at Tux. You like her. Would you date her?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Would you date her in Njalo just to date? Or would you date her with the intention of, okay, bet, one day I'm going to get down on the knees, bring the cows, we're going to do this thing?
I mean, at the end of the day, man, as I don't know, even if you had good intentions for her, it's totally up to her or you know, in the situation. If you don't mess up and cheat, or she doesn't mess up and cheat, but then in this situation, Tux, Hetfield specifically, I don't see that happening, because I'm not saying what it is, but you know, statistics show that Tux Hetfield is not the place where you can find your ideal wife. You get, so yeah, I'd see her and date her, but is it with the intention of marrying her? Of course, if she's a good person. But then I also bear in mind that it's Hetfield, you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you think you're marriage material?
I'd like to say I have an idea. Yeah, maybe.
Sure.
I don't know, because I've never been in marriage before.
Sure.
So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I am. I think I am. Yeah. I think I'm a good guy. I think I'm a chill guy.
Yeah.
I can be. I'm a suitable partner for marriage. Yeah.
What's your opinion on marriage? Khofa?
I mean, I'm a female, so honestly, I don't really see marriage as a milestone. I don't mind getting married. You know, I'm in a relationship and I do want to get married to him. But it's honestly not one of those things where I feel like I just have to do this. You know, especially as a female, because marriage honestly takes a lot from females. It does, because most of the times you have to let go of all your goals, dreams, you know, to be a wife. And I don't really think that's something I want to sign up for. Yeah. But I believe it all depends on the people, in the marriage. Yeah.
What makes you say marriage is, like, for the ladies especially, something you need to, like, give up your dreams, give up your ambitions? What makes you say that?
We live in a society where people have careers, right? And a lot of women are goal driven and whatnot. But the thing about marriage is that, especially in male dominated fields, I don't know, it's like when a female, you know, gets pregnant, you know, have kids, it's like they're deemed not to be able to do their work anymore. And I've heard stories of some women being excluded from promotions at work because they, according to their employers, they are married. Because no, not that they're married, but they have kids, you know, in a marriage. And so, yeah.
If you could choose between two things, having, let's say, the career of your dreams, or having the family of your dreams, you can only have one or the other. Which one would you choose?
Definitely the career of my dreams.
Definitely. Why definitely?
For both, you have to give in a lot. If you have a family, you have to give in, like, so much of yourself. And I think I would rather suffer.
Wow.
And yeah, knowing that, okay, I'm about to reap, you know. Yeah, so I think I'd rather choose the career of my dreams rather than my dream family. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, marriage is a beautiful thing. It's a God's design, actually. God, when we go back to Genesis, where we see Adam and Eve, God created marriage as a beautiful thing to represent His love for His people. So basically, for me, marriage is actually beautiful because it represents who God is amongst in relation to people, how much Jesus loves us. As the Bible teaches us, Abuti, a man must lay down his life as Christ loved the church. So our relationship, our marriage actually, it builds to a family which represent God, because our family is God's genius. It's where everything begins. Everything begins with family, and everything begins with marriage. If two people come together, a man and a woman come together in a covenant before God, that they're doing this until death do us part. So actually, that's where everything begins. That's where everything begins. That's where relationships begins. So that's where people can learn. They can actually learn from people who are genuinely committed to one another. Yeah, so that's my opinion about marriage.
Do you want to get married?
Yeah, 100%. I want to get married.
Why do you want to get married?
First of all, number one, marriage represents God. So if God wants us to get married, why not? And a marriage is a beautiful thing. I want to model to my kids, how does it look like to have a godly marriage? How does it look like? I want to model to the people that are close to me, how does a godly relationship look? How does a godly marriage look? So that they can look at me and see, okay, this is a good thing to do actually as a man or as a woman.
Why do you want to have a family when there's so many things telling us not to have a family, economic and mistrust and stuff like that? Just wait. You want to be in the video? Okay. Wait. Why, with all the mistrust that some people have and all the reasons in terms of the economy, why do you want to have a family?
Okay, first of all, it's not about what's happening on the outside, but it's about what God says. So it's basically about trusting God. So if I'm trusting God, which means I'm going to trust God's will for my life. So regardless of what's happening around me, regardless of how the society have defined marriage, how the society has defined everything, but if God defines it in a different way, I'm taking God's way. So yeah, that's essentially it. I'm choosing to trust God above everything.
Marriage, Yo, the context. I think it's a really good thing.
Sure.
Because you get to commit.
Sure.
And you share your whole everything with someone.
Sure.
So I feel like it's also a good thing and a bad thing.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Why do you want to get married?
Man, it's like a sense of seriousness into like it's a step above Mujolo.
Sure. So Paris, what is your opinion on marriage?
I think when I was younger, I think every girl has this like idea of marriage, right? And it's like this big fairy tale thing and whatever. And I think as you grow up, you start looking at the realities of life a little bit more. And now I feel like I have more of like a, I wouldn't say sinister, but yeah, sinister view of it. I don't feel like it's something that's necessary or even something that I want. I think you see so many things go wrong with people's marriages, and it's like, why would I do that if I could just be happy on my own, you know? So, I mean, yeah, to each their own. I don't think it's that great.
Tell me, personally, what have you seen go wrong in other people's marriages that has made you question again for yourself, like whether it's something you want to do?
I just don't trust men, bro. I feel like that's such a general answer. I feel like so many people have said that. But yeah, you can meet the love of your life and, you know, things come along and things just go wrong. Sometimes that person completely changes, day and night difference when you get married. And then there's so much fallout because now, let's say you live together, now it's like the splitting of things and it's just so messy. So I think it's really important to choose who you marry because otherwise, yeah.
Maybe the issue is also like us not seeing many good examples of like marriages that work, be it on social media, be it like in our own personal lives. Yeah, what do you think about that?
I think that definitely does change your opinion on it because what you see is it's going to change your perspective on things. So yeah, definitely social media nowadays, obviously it's such a huge part of everyone's lives. So I think it definitely does change the way people think about it.
I mean, these days, obviously it's like the breakdown of like relationships is like a whole like subgenre of like TV and content, right? Like swap phones, cheaters, I'm gonna put you in a situation where it's like we try to catch you. What impact do you think that's also had on like, you know, people's outlook on like relationships with marriage more specifically? And like how has that affected like your own maybe like outlook on marriage?
I think that obviously with the whole trust thing, right? When you constantly see things like that, you are going to start believing it, right? So you could be in a relationship and you see all of these things will make you also believe, oh, okay, but what if my boyfriend's also doing this? And I think for me, not even just social media, but also just personal experiences, it's kind of like you have that tainted view. So going into it again, you kind of have these ideas, which maybe also ruin your chances, right? Like you probably sabotage yourself as well. But yeah, I think that whole thing with trust, once you see something, it'll start infiltrating how you think as well.
I think marriage is beautiful. Marriage is a commitment, a lifelong commitment between two people. Marriage is a gift from God. Yes, that's my opinion.
Do you want to get married?
100%, like literally, like that's 100% want to get married. Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I just want someone to spend the rest of my life with, someone who I want to go on this journey called life with, someone who I want to be the father of my kids. You know, yeah, like that's literally all I want. To be loved, to be cared for. Yeah, man.
What do you have to say to people that are like super skeptical about getting married?
I can understand where they come from, to be honest. There's a lot of relationships now and love now and all those kinds of things. It's just, in our generation, it's not, there's a lot that happens, you know. There's a lot of abusive marriages, there's a lot of fruitless marriages, there's a lot of loveless marriages. People don't really know how to love. People lack the emotional intelligence, to be honest, to go into marriages. So I understand why people wouldn't want to get married, because there's just a whole lot of things going on when it comes to marriage. But what I would tell them is, honestly, okay, I'm a Christian, so I honestly believe that if you really want to get married, you need to like press into God, you know, pray to Him. And also, we're not all ready for marriage at a certain point. So I would say they should grow as a person, and then after growing as a person, they should like pray and, yeah, press in and honestly just wait for the perfect person to come. Because I do believe that if your God knows what your heart wants, God knows what you desire, and he's more than willing to give that to you, right? Because marriage was created by God. So 100% I feel like once you are ready and yeah, if you're ready, you pray, you develop yourself as a person, man or woman of God, then yeah, for sure God is going to bring you the right person who's going to be able to love you, meet your emotional needs, your physical needs, your everything. And yeah, that's what I think. So if people don't want to get married, I mean, marriage isn't for everyone, Vele, but if it's a thing of you don't want to get married because you've seen what's going on in the world and you see all the chaos, then I would want to tell them that there is hope, but as a Christian, from a Christian point of view, I don't know if they're not Christian, then I won't lie. Yeah, but yeah, that's all.
Why do you think people lack emotional intelligence these days?
I think because emotional intelligence takes work. It's a lot, to be honest, and people don't want to feel. We go through a lot as people, and you realize what feeling is. It's hurtful to feel. It's hurtful to so people just would rather have surface level relationships and not really dig deep, because it takes a lot to put your heart out there, to be vulnerable with someone. It takes a lot, and you most of the time for people, they get hurt in the process when they do that, so they'd rather just have surface level relationships and just not get too deep. And yeah, that's why people lack emotional intelligence, because they don't even want to dive into that. And yeah, people just want to be chill. Yeah.
Okay, so Ndumiso, tell us, do you want to get married?
For me, I'd say maybe. It depends. Because I got a girlfriend right now, ne? And say I love her, she loves me. But I'm feeling like, okay, I don't want to get married for, obviously, like, you can see the economy of getting married, like what's happening and stuff like that. But let's say we are to make it to 20 years.
Sure.
What then? I know females do want to get married. What then? We'll just be in dismay, like, what about her feelings about marriage? I'm only considering I don't want to get married personally, but I'm thinking in terms of her. So that's why I say maybe.
Okay, sure. So you say personally you don't want to get married. Why?
Because marriage doesn't run in my family. Marriage doesn't run in my family. My uncle's divorced.
Khutšišo?
Hey man, how are you?
I'm alright, thank you. Why do you want to get married?
Why do I want to get married? Okay, so I'm gonna speak just shortly about how I thought prior this year.
Okay.
So for me, my mentality with marriage, of course, for me, I have the privilege of coming from a Christian background where my mom and dad have been married for more than 35 years, and I've seen the beauty of marriage, and them being together for more than 35 years, no divorce, and all the kids. I mean, like, they've 8 kids. All the kids. We still I've seen the beauty of marriage and what can marriage produce, which was like the children and the family. So then I was like, no, that's great. I also want to have that one day, right? But how I thought about it, I was like, I'm gonna have it after I've achieved some certain things in life, like things like having the dream job, having the dream money, having the dream car, having the dream, let me just say, success. So I was like, okay, I would consider marriage at that time when I have those things. But this year, with the legacy theme we've been having at church, it changed my whole perspective about marriage, in a sense that I've seen how beautiful it is to actually build with the woman that you want to spend the rest of your life with. Build with her, not just career wise, but also building building a godly family, and building things like ministry, because of our church, we're privileged to do ministry, we souls make disciples, and you know how that thing, it's beautiful building with your, you know, the woman that you want to spend the rest of your life with. So that's how my mentality changed. Now it changed. Now I don't just wanna, like, now my focus is not on achieving those things first. It's building from scratch with the woman that I want to spend the rest of my life with. Building from scratch, career wise, and also ministry wise. So yeah. So definitely, yes, sir. I don't know if I answered your question.
What are some of the things that you believe that you don't believe in anymore? The things that you thought that you don't think anymore?
That's a very good question. Things like things like having money first that you need. The things like you need, like having your dream car, success, having a lot of money first. That's how I thought. But when I thought of but that changed in the sense that you don't really need to have, like, especially as a guy, because that's how guys think. That's how we as guys would think, Lord. No, first of all, get your dream car, get money, get millions and all of that. I remember I was speaking with a guy literally earlier today. I asked him about marriage. Interesting. Then he told me, I met him in the bus coming here. He was like, he wants to get $1 million first. Then he'll consider getting married. You know, all of that. So that's how I thought too. And that changed in the sense that God has shown me, Lord, there's more to marriage than that, than money first and then all of that. And also the beauty of building from scratch. I think it's beautiful. I mean, like, I'm not going to mention names, of course, but I saw my leader's life. I remember just a real short thing about him that, I mean, where he is right now in terms of like career wise, he didn't have that when he was with his lady, but now they're built together. Now they have a beautiful house, they have beautiful cars, they, you know, and they're still building. So building, career wise building with the person, and also ministry wise building with the person. Same thing back to him, where he is right now in terms of ministry. Luri, he built with his wife from scratch. Now where God is taking them, it's beautiful. So yeah, I think yes, sir. Those are things that changed. My perspective changed regarding that. Yes, sir. That's why now I want to get married young now.
You want to get married young?
Definitely. I definitely want to get married young, man. Young. I want to get married young and build from scratch with the woman that God has for me. Build from scratch in terms of career, and also build from scratch also in terms of ministry. Build with her from scratch. Blink, we are at the level of my leader's life. Okay, what does getting married older prevent you from, right?
According to you.
According to me. I think, I mean, there's a lot of aspects I can say it prevents you from. Of course, things like I'm gonna say these things like not in order of priority, right? Things like kids. If you want to have a lot of kids, you can't get married when you're old. It doesn't make any sense. Biologically, it doesn't make any sense, right? So that's and the other part is, I think you miss the opportunity of growing with your person from scratch. I mean, guys, it's different when you already have everything and you build from that point of view going forward, and also not having everything and you build. Those things are two different conversations, you know what I mean? So I think it robs a person from actually building from scratch with your partner. And the beauty of that, man, like the beauty of building from scratch with your partner, I think which is I think is the most important thing. Building from scratch with the person that you're gonna spend the rest. Because think about it, if I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with you, we might as well build from scratch together. Why not? You know what I mean? Not me build and then I add you to what I already built and then we continue from that. But if we want to spend the rest of our life together, let's build from scratch, man. We might as well. You know what I'm saying? So I think it drops people from that opportunity of building from scratch with the person you want to spend the rest of your life with. I think so. Cool stuff.
Botshelo, sir, do you want to get married?
I can't say for sure, but I wouldn't mind it, happening in my life. How would I not mind it? I don't know, the idea of being with somebody officially for the rest of your life sounds cool to me. I don't really want to be, in the streets or anything like that. I just want to be tied down to one person. So it's probably why I want to get married. But right now, I'm just focused on books, career. I'll deal with that when, the time comes. But I wouldn't mind it.
When does the time come?
I don't know. I don't think there's a set guideline for it. I think you just meet the right person at the right time. And if you feel like that's the right time for you, then you go for it. Whether you're 20, 28, doesn't matter to me.
Is it something you've thought about?
Is it something I've thought about? Yeah, of course I've thought about it. Of course. I'm thinking about it right now. But yeah, I think just trying to put my mind straight on one thing right now has kind of like pushed it to the back of my mind. But I wouldn't say it's out of the picture for me. I actually see myself being in that type of environment sometime in my future. So.
And do you think like in your family, is it maybe something that they also speak about, like be it your parents, uncles, aunts, cousins, all the relatives?
Funny enough, no, but I mean, you get to see it. I think that's enough. Seeing the actual like communions in the family kind of gives you a guideline as to like how it's going to be if you decide to do that for yourself. So, yeah.
Why do you think like it's not something that gets spoken about?
I think most people, I don't know. I actually have no idea. I think it has to do with the fact that nobody really has marriage figured out. So trying to give advice on something that's not really like set in stone, it's kind of, difficult for most people.
Yeah. I think it's just important to, firstly just establish a basis point and just make sure we have clarity, right? So I think firstly, what is marriage? Number one, marriage is a union between a man and a woman before God. It's a covenantal relationship. Now we need to get into more definitions. What is a man? A man is a human born with a scrotum. What is a woman? A woman is a human born, emphasis on the word born with a uterus. The definition I use is what I believe marriage to be. And so when I speak of marriage, that is what I'm speaking of. Again, a man and a woman before God. Because we see Genesis 1, that's exactly how God intended it to be in the original design. God made man, and as he made man, found no helper, or decided rather to form a helper comparable to the man. And by helper, we don't mean a maid. We don't mean someone to serve at the hand of this man, but we mean someone to fulfill the functions that this man cannot, which again, I think deals with a lot of the contentions that we might have when it comes to marriage. And yeah, God made Eve and thought Eve to be comparable to Adam. And that is why a man should leave his father, his mother, his home to be joined with his wife, and whatever God puts together, let no man separate. I think then the second thing, just from our conversations with people, I think we don't value family as much as we need to. And we might think that that's a small thing and it's not that deep. But before I guess tackle that, what are the odds, right? Or not even what are the odds, but in your own experience, when it comes to like maybe like conversations with your parents or conversations with your family, what do we speak more about? Do we speak more about finances? Do we speak more about career? Do we speak more about school? Or do we speak more about family? Right? I tend to skew and believe that we'll probably speak more about the first three things than we do about family. And I think it's tremendously destructive at the end of the day to have that sort of attitude, because ultimately family is ground zero for the human capital of any society. That's where values, that's where ethics, that's where discipline, that's where governance is instituted, right, is in family. And I think more than that, right, that's where trust and cooperation is built, right? It's within the family. If there's trust in a household, right, and every single household in a specific area has trust, then that means that there's what? There's trust in a community, right? Now, if there's trust in communities that find themselves in a specific area, what does that mean? There's trust in a town, in a suburb, right, in a township. If there's trust in a collective of townships, collective of suburbs, it means that the trust compounds. If there's trust in a region, right, then that trust also then compounds to a family, to a nation rather. And if there's trust in a nation, then that continues to compound everywhere else. And I think that's probably one of the biggest things just in chatting to people today is just the breakdown of trust. And I think there's been a breakdown of trust because we don't put as much emphasis on it as we should. And I think that's really something we need to do. Across the world, you'll see that there's like demographic crises because people didn't value family enough. And now you've got more people on pension, putting a strain on the welfare system than people being able to support that welfare system. But that's because we just didn't emphasize having a family enough. That's how you build a nation. Where the family goes is where the nation goes. And if we're upset, right, about where we find ourselves as a nation, if we're not happy and displeased about the state of affairs, then it really starts at home. We need to make sure that first and foremost that we are taking our families seriously and that we value the family. Because if I don't value the family, then I don't value the society within which the family lives and from which the family is built. The smallest unit of a society is the family. And so family is ground zero for the human capital of any nation and of any society. It all starts at home. I think it's important that we heal as people. In South Africa, statistics show that 70% of households are single-headed households, right? Oftentimes by single moms. And that's why then there's a breakdown in family and also a breakdown in the value, right, of families, because there's already so much pressure on the one parent holding it down, making sure kids are in school, making sure that there's enough food to eat. So I don't speak arrogantly or ignorantly when I speak about the things that I do, but I think it is important that we address these things, that we address them honestly and openly, and that we address them head on, because ultimately these things will continue to happen lest someone decides and says enough is enough, it ends with me. And that doesn't happen apart from you healing and apart from, I believe, a relationship with God. I was even saying earlier to one of the ladies that had it not been for a relationship with God and had it not been for God healing my heart, then I would have not have gotten married. And ultimately that's really what it is that hurt people will continue to hurt people. And us as a generation, we can decide that regardless of what's happened before us, that we're going to put a stop to these things, and we're going to take responsibility for where we find ourselves, the pain, the hurt that you did not even cause yourself, that sometimes you were born into, the pain and the hurt that was inflicted upon you for no reason at all. We can decide that we're going to take responsibility for where we find ourselves, no longer be prisoners of what has happened to us and be victims of what has happened to us, but to forgive and to heal. And ultimately, all of that can only happen because of a relationship, an authentic relationship with God, accepting Jesus as our Lord and Savior. And when we can do that, and our hearts can heal, and it's easier to love, right? It's easier to hope again, right? And it's easier to open yourself once more to relationships, to open yourself once more to people, and to open yourself once more to having a family. But that's what we need to do. It's a decision that we need to make as a generation, that whatever's happened has happened, but it ends with us. The vicious cycles, the broken homes, the fatherlessness, it ends with us. And as we do that, as we make that decision, then we can really build the South Africa of our dreams. Thank you, everybody. Thanks so much, Chris. Come on, get in. Thank you, Khutšišo. That was awesome.
Thank you. Oh, by the way, this guy's still is amazing, dude. Bless.